what kind of country we're going to be. 4 more years of Georgia, he's going to find ourselves in a position where if Trump gets elected, we're going to be in a. I never forgot what President Kennedy said about going to the moon. He said, we're going, you know why? Because we refuse to postpone. Let's not postpone and get out of the rain. God bless you all. Thank you. I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure. Mobilize true international effort to pressure. Million Michiganders. Donald Trump thinks health care is a privilege. Barack and I think it's a right for people to have bad health care.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And a new poll released today has shown that more Americans feel Joe Biden needs to be taken out of power before Vladimir Putin. This is unheard of, and yet strangely unsurprising. I think for his own benefit, he needs to be escorted off the premises and into a care facility. But anyway, I shall zip down into my corner and we'll have a look at this article. And I'm going to have to stop trying to laugh. It's very funny. Anyway, here we go. So here it is. Headline says it all. Joe Biden should be removed before Putin, US poll says. More Americans would rather kick Joe Biden out of the White House than see Vladimir Putin removed from power in the Kremlin. Yes, because who's the biggest danger to Americans? Not Putin. Just a week after the US president was accused of making a gaffe calling for regime change in Russia, an exclusive poll for the Sunday Express has revealed Americans would rather see his presidency end. Asked which would be better for America, 52% chose Biden loses power in the US over 43% for Putin loses power in Russia. There's never been anything like this. It's just, but he doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know where he is. The findings in the poll by the Washington-based Democracy Institute show almost 2/3 of America, 62%, believe Mr. Biden will not be re-elected in 2024. They also appear to confirm that an expected bid by Donald Trump in 2024 will see him sweep back into power. And it's only happened once before, hasn't it? Where there's been, you've had two presidencies with a different president in between. Grover Cleveland, my mind is shouting at me, I think. While Boris Johnson has seen a rise in public support for his handling of the Ukraine crisis, the error-prone US president has not enjoyed a similar bounce. Of 1,500 people polled, all who identify as likely voters, 57% disapprove of his presidency, the same as a month ago, while just 39% approve of it. 70% believe the US is headed in the wrong direction. Well, you've got to blame the man with the steering wheel in his hand. His handling of the war is only approved by 40%, while 52% disapprove, and his overall foreign policy is a 55% disapproval rating compared to 42% approval. Basically, nobody thinks he's doing a good job. While a Techni poll for the Sunday Express showed almost 1/3 of UK voters had Ukraine as their top concern, in the US just 8% saw it as their main issue. Well, of course, it is a long way away for most Americans. Their key issue being inflation, which is currently the highest it's been in America for 30 odd years. If Mr. Trump does run in 2024, according to the US poll results, he would beat Mr. Biden by 48% to 43%, and America would be saved. Patrick Basham, director of the Democracy Institute, said Biden's foreign policy debacles, highlighted by America's disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, have turned off voters who mostly disapprove of his handling of America's global role. He has damaged America, possibly irreversibly. But that's what you get when you put Democrats in power. Especially mad ones with mental issues. Biden's political team knows economic pain will continue to weigh down the president's rating, so it puts great stock in Biden's handling of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. But he isn't. He's not doing anything. Meanwhile, the economy is in tatters, and ultimately, if you don't get the economy right, you're finished. For all his faults, Clinton summed it up very, very well. It's the economy, stupid. His counsellors view the Ukraine crisis as a blunt instrument that nonetheless may help the president to dig himself out of his electoral hole. Should the Ukraine crisis end on terms perceived to be favourable to the Ukrainians, and should Vladimir Putin's Russia be put back in her box, it is possible that Biden will receive considerable credit and his ratings will improve. If that happens, his party's candidates may also improve their positions vis-à-vis the Republican opponents. Yeah, but just imagine that happened. It's got nothing to do with America's influence. This will be the Ukrainians fighting back, plus European sanctions, really. That's what's going to do this. America's done very little towards it. And as I explained, it's simply because Ukraine is a long way away from most Americans' minds at the moment. It's not as though it's a direct threat to American interests just yet. If it became a direct threat, it would be much more centre and front. But until then, Americans don't care, really. However, given Biden's continuing bungling of the crisis, highlighted by his dangerous verbal gaffes and wildly inaccurate predictions of the imminent demise of the ruble and the Russian economy, voters disapprove of his handling of the Ukraine. Joe Biden's Democrats are battling a perfect storm of economic trials, foreign policy crises, and historical precedent that threatens to drown the party in November's election, yet all caused by him. With every seat in the House of Representatives up for grabs, our Democracy Institute Sunday Express survey finds Democratic candidates in a precarious position, having lost significant ground to their Republican opponents since Biden's inauguration 15 months ago. The Democrats face potentially insurmountable electoral headwinds, and it is hard to foresee the party's campaign overcoming the building blocks that buttress a sizable Republican advantage among voters. A president's own party almost always does poorly in midterms, held 2 years after his own election. Modern midterm elections have resulted in an average loss of 30 House seats. The president's party most often receives a bloody nose rather than a knockout. Donald Trump's Republicans experienced the former in 2018, but sometimes their parties do very badly indeed. See Bill Clinton's Democrats in '94 and Barack Obama's Democrats in 2010. Midterms are usually low turnout events, and the thing with low turnout is that each vote counts slightly more, and if you can get your base to vote, you've got a very good chance of winning. Getting your vote out is more important when there's a low voter turnout. It was just to show really that that Biden is in deep trouble and that his policies are amazingly unpopular, and even within his own side now. If you're losing that many votes, you're actually losing your votes, people who would otherwise back you. So yeah, you're not doing a good job there, Mr. President. And you only have to wonder why a man who's nearly 80 is being allowed to do this. But anyway, I'll knock it on the head there. I'll come up and we'll round this video off. So America has decided, really, they've decided that Joe's time is over. When more people think you should go rather than Vladimir Putin, you really got to take a look at yourself. But America is hurting right now. A bad mixture of terrible foreign policy, terrible domestic policy, absolutely crazy economic policy. He's doing nothing to fight inflation, which will erode everything. But I don't even think he's aware of it. I honestly think he's living in a bubble. I think the people around him are keeping things from him because they don't feel he is capable of understanding the issues. And that's not what America needs. It's not what the Western world needs. We need a strong leader. We need someone who has an idea of what he's doing. And we don't have that. So maybe it's time to put him out to pasture. Like I say, a little bit of a care facility. Have matron, make sure he's looked after. Pat him on the head. But we'll end it there. If you like what you're seeing here on the channel, hit the subscribe button. Ring the bell for notifications of future output. Leave a like. Leave a comment. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and goodbye.